And are you refreshed? Yes. Good. Now what?
Thank you. This hot seat's warm. I like it. My question really may be more for Esther, however I'm sure it can be fielded in any way. But I'm here with my best friend who so generously, along with my husband, bought my ticket to today's presentation for my birthday, which is tomorrow. So thank everybody here because it's a great way to celebrate. It feels wonderful. But together, we have written a children's book, and it's published, and we do workshops for children, and we go into schools. And so my question is, when you're dealing with a live audience, and we have, a preparation, but when you go in and there are interactions and things happen, how does Esther prepare for these presentations and dealing with the different energies and allowing people to be, when you as a human have such a strong desire to help, especially the children, which we've been talking about, keeping that momentum of connection and helping them really learn how to use their imaginations to their benefit. And I guess, what does Esther do to allow us to be that helps her?
Well, there are a number
because there's a passion that comes with that, where you want people to feel good, especially children, and especially the areas where we have gotten to work and are getting to work. And
our favorite word that you spoke just now was preparation, because it's the vibrational preparation that matters. In a situation like this, where Esther is allowing us to be dominant in this vibration. In other words, that's what's going on here. Esther, through a process of meditation some years ago, found vibrational alignment with that which we are. And in that alignment, knew what we knew in the moment of that alignment. So all that's happening here is there is a practiced and therefore a sustained vibrational frequency that allows her to know what we know. So we're not whispering words into her ear that she is repeating. We're just knowing, and in her vibrational alignment with that which we are, that knowing is easily expressed in words. So specifically to your question, Esther's preparation for a gathering like this is to be well rested and to be in a vibrational frequency that allows us. Now, over time, her expectation is so strong at knowing that it's going to be wonderful that she doesn't ever worry about it. In the beginning, she would say to us so often, Abraham, I want to speak clearly your words. I want to speak clearly your words. I want to speak clearly your words. And our primary soothing of her was because we wanted her to not be trying so hard, because in trying there is tension. And so in the efforting, there is often a sort of counterproductive thing that happens, which is why we like the word preparation. You've written this book that you are presenting, and so now your preparation is just to make sure that you're on the high-flying disc going in. And you have the benefit in interacting with children. They're mostly on the high-flying disc with very little encouragement. They go right there, you see. And so it's using the power of your imagination, which leads us to something that is really important. When we speak of affirming or affirmations or visualization, can you see, in light of what we've been talking about here today, that you're wanting to do your affirming or you're wanting to do your visualizing from that high-flying place? In other words, if you're in a place of worrying about something, for example, I really want to be effective at what I'm doing, but I don't know what's going to go on in the classroom, and I don't know what the real attitude of the teacher is, and I don't know what state of mind the kids will be in, and I don't know how receptive they'll be. And if those are the things that you've been feeling, then to say, well, this is going to be great, and it's going to be wonderful, and I'm going to do a good job, affirming from that vibrational stance that doesn't feel like you want to feel, the harder you try to say it from a place of not feeling it or meaning it, the more you vibrationally make your case for what you do feel. In other words, the universe does not hear what you're saying. The universe knows what vibration you're offering. And so when you say something you don't mean, the universe hears what you do mean. So it's not enough to just say it, although we would far rather that you say things that sound positive than that sound negative. But really, there's a more important step to take, and that is get into the place where your affirming means something. Get into the place where your visualization means something. And once you're there, then you just don't worry about anything. Esther never worries about what's going to happen in one of these gatherings. Not just because she has enough years under her belt of knowing that it's always good, but because it always has been good, but it's that because she knows that as she steps into the energy that is dominant, that it cannot be otherwise. She knows that different people in audiences are having different experiences. In the beginning, they were meeting only in Texas, and Jerry and Esther were driving to the most populated places in Texas. And so they were returning to Dallas once a month, and to Austin once a month, and to Houston once a month. So in the first 6 or 7 months, they got to know people pretty well because the same essential group of people was coming every time. And so then Esther began thinking, well, these people have already sort of heard what Abraham has to say, not realizing how never-ending and expansive the message would be. So she and Jerry decided that they would hold a newcomers meeting in each city and an old-timers meeting, 6 months meaning the old-timers meeting, and which seemed like a good idea until they discovered that everybody wanted to come to all of the meetings. Nobody wanted to miss anything. But over time, both Jerry and Esther came to accept, believe, and know that everyone is receiving what they're ready to receive, and that Abraham is presenting for everyone to receive whatever they're ready to receive. And it's really up to them to do the receiving because you're doing the offering. You do not take responsibility for your audience's preparedness. Just take responsibility for your preparedness, which means get in a good feeling place with the intent that you have, and trust that you will be inspired to the timing and the wording and the behaving that will be the most beneficial to the most, you see. And we're saying this to all of you relative to everything, not just to someone who is wanting to prepare a presentation. We're saying as you are moving in the world, care less about what others are doing. Care less about what the response others have to you is, because you cannot control their response, because you cannot control their disc. You have been, and this answers that earlier question about how people have lost their way in a clearer way than we answered it even before. If you are clear about who you are and caring about what disc you're on, then everything is unfolding nicely for you. But if you start targeting your audience, if you start plotting about your audience, if you start trying to manage your audience, now you are, in many cases, jumping from your disc onto theirs. And now you don't have that leverage that is yours if you stay on your disc. Just trust that they are finding you. And the other thing, we said it earlier, but it really applies here in a powerful way. Be excited about what you're doing. Be happy about what you're doing. Think about why you're doing what you're doing. And be sure that you're happy in the moment of doing what you're doing. And then let the chips fall where they may. And by that we mean don't take responsibility for how anybody responds to you. Only responsibility for how you're feeling. Which means, as our friend was saying, who was stuck in traffic, it's what you do next. It's what you do next. And so the better preparation you've done in advance, the more positively you will respond to what's going on as it is unfolding. Do you like it that we don't take responsibility for what you hear from us? But have you noticed that in every case, we stand before a group like this and we express what we know without inviting them to visit with us until we feel that the vibration of the room has been raised to the degree that anyone who's reaching for something can find it. In other words, we prepare as best we can the vibrational frequency of the room, knowing that if given an opportunity, you will rise to meet it. And that's the way we would feel in every situation with every person. If given the opportunity, you will rise to meet it. And my job is to give you the opportunity. So as a parent who's wanting the best for your children, give them the opportunity to rise to meet it, which means focus upon their positive aspects and their positive aspects only. As an employer, focus upon the positive aspects and the positive aspects only of those that you seek assistance from or that you seek to uplift. In other words, isn't that the rule of thumb to live by? Find the frequency. Offer it consistently so that you're stable within it, and then whatever happens, happens.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.